righteousness of God. And that's what Paul says right there in that very verse. He says, for Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the good news, not with wisdom of words. Not by, if you do this, then you receive all the good. Not with wisdom of words, because when you do those things, if I go and say to you, okay, you're saved by grace, but then what you need to do is find a good church, go every Wednesday and go every Sunday, tithe, fast, do all these different things to get God to manifest in your life. That causes the cross, the message of the cross, to be made of none effect. Because basically what you're saying is, Jesus didn't do enough for me. He didn't do enough. His work on the cross wasn't enough for me, so I'm going to have to tithe. I'm going to have to fast. I'm going to have to pray. I'm going to have to do all these things so that the life of God is going to manifest in me. That's what was going on back then, and that's what's going on back now. Now look at this. It says, for the preaching, this is what Scott read, for the preaching of the cross, it's foolishness unto them which, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. So if I go and tell you, or if I go and tell some other preacher, look, it's through the crucifixion and the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ that you receive forgiveness of sins and righteousness by faith. If you tell them that, they'll say, yeah, but what? You got to do all these other things first. That is absolute foolishness to them, that to think that you can have righteousness by faith without works. That is absolutely foolishness to them. But here's the thing. If you believe that Jesus Christ has made you righteous because of the finished work of Jesus Christ, and you're sinless and guiltless in His sight, it produces a spirit, the Spirit of Christ in you, and that will help you overcome sin in every area of your life. But if you try to become the righteousness of God by all your different commandments and laws and traditions, you might be able to do it for a week. You might be able to do it for 6 months. But it's just like if I take a car and I can push that car up a grade for 50 feet. As soon as I let go, it goes back. You see? And that what Jesus Christ did when He died on the cross, He said, it is finished. In other words, it was a finished work. It wasn't something that needed to be added to, or nothing that you had to do that could complete it. It was something that was finished and done. And so anyway, let's go on. We'll go on here. It says, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. So if you go and say, I'm righteous, you just try it one time. Go ahead and talk to some people and say, I'm the righteousness of God by faith. They will immediately say, well, what are you doing? Or, where are you at? What church are you attending? What do you do? And then, it's what do you do? The work of the cross is not what you do, it's what Jesus has done. The work of the cross is not what you do, but what Jesus has done. Just leave it run. And that's what we got to get through our heads. We got to get that through our heads, because if you try to do good, and I'm not saying you shouldn't try to do good, but I'm just saying you can only do good so long. Now, okay, let me go on here. It says, now look at verse 19, how this fits together. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? Now look at this, verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. You will not become any closer to God through your wisdom and through your your plans to reach God. You know, we used to when we used to go to the other church, or we used to fast for. We had a continual fast going on for like you know, one guy would fast one meal, and then the next guy would fast another meal. The other guy would fast another meal. So there was a continual fast. So what were we doing, Jason? We were offering sacrifices, weren't we? Jesus is the last sacrifice that has to be offered. Do you remember that, Scott? We'd have to be doing this continual fast. And we thought that we'd get the favor of God going in our life. Well, look at the favor of God, what is done. Isn't it wonderful? Let me tell you, it doesn't work that way. Jesus has already done all the work that needs to be done, and all you need to do, the work of God that God demands of you today, you know what you need to do? Believe in Him whom He has sent. That's the work, only work you need to do. And as we believe on the things that He has done for us, then we will find the Spirit of God manifesting itself in our lives, instead of trying to do all these rules and regulations. See, it says, "For after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God, it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching," what's it say? "To save them that believe." Through the foolishness of me telling you that you're the righteousness of God, just through the cross of Jesus Christ, that is the way God saves people today. And if you continue to stand in that, and not be drawn away into your own works and doing your own thing, then the work of God will manifest in your life. And you know, you don't have to do anything to become wealthy in Christ. You just have to believe on Him. You know, you don't have to pay your you don't have to pay your this certain amount of money each month. You know, that's the way the mafia works. If you don't pay them a certain amount of your profits, then they'll come by and they'll say, "Well, would you like protection?" And you know, and you say no. Well, then the next thing you know, your shop's broke in. Well, who do you think it's broke in by? It's broke in by them. But that's not the way God works. See, and God didn't want it that way. When He died on the cross, He died for us. And He became, the scriptures say, He became poor, that you might become rich. See, He was the King of all the universe. The King of all the universe came down to earth. Where the golden streets are up there, where everything, the angels beckoned to His commands. He came down and made Himself of nothing. So to the very end, at the very end of the cross, He was on that cross, He did not have a stitch of clothing on Him. That's how He emptied Himself for you, so that you could receive His righteousness. See? The King of heaven gave up everything for you, so that you could receive all His goodness. All the wickedness that we've done, all the bad things that we've done and deserved, fell on the head of Jesus Christ. All the judgment of God, God's angry judgment, fell on Jesus Christ, so that all the goodness of God would be able to be poured out on your life this day. Now that's what you call good news, man. That is total good news. That is total good news. Okay, we'll go to Romans Romans 6 then. We'll probably finish up pretty soon. Just let me know when I got a couple minutes or 5 minutes left. Romans 6. So this is a new gospel, really. Although it's not really new, it's just been hidden by mankind for so long. And that's the mystery of Christ we sang about. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Christ in you, the mystery. You're in Him, He's in you. It's a mystery revealed that we live through Jesus Christ today.